Joe Scott Morgan joining me, professor of forensics. He stated very plainly, hey, you know what? I respect the FBI. You guys have done so much for our country. Let me just save you some time. I acted alone. He's perfectly coherent. So, Joe Scott, here's my question to you. What do you think will be the single most important evidence in this case? And I'm guessing it's going to be forensics.
Yeah, it will be, but I think maybe in a different area. It's going to be electronic forensics. Let's think about what we have. He's going to be tracked moving along. Now that we know who this guy is, his movements on the bus line, did he have multiple phones? Did he have an actual phone that had his name attached to it, as well as a burner phone that maybe was tracked concurrently with the burner phone? Also, we haven't talked a lot about Brian Thompson here. Uh, what did this guy do to stalk him? We go back to this idea that he knew he was in Manhattan, that he knew he was at this meeting. Is his history, digital history, going to have a big reveal about this relative to him, following him day to day? Did he ever actually make any trips to Minneapolis to kind of inspect that area? That's going to be a big part of this, is putting all of this together. I think that, yeah, the ballistics are unique. I think if you can even attach it, but I think one of the biggest pieces of evidence here is all of this electronic data that's going to come into play. And also, don't forget this, Nancy, he has a real understanding and a real love for AI. We've seen this throughout his social media posts, the life that he lived, his bachelor's and master's degree in computer science. Uh, the 3D ghost gun, he's familiar with that. That's a big part of new technology, and just being able to generate false IDs. All of that along the way is going to be a big, big dagger in the heart for him.
Cheryl McCollum, you know what? Let me just give you an example. The ghost gun, for Pete's sake, is the single most important piece of evidence. I tie it with a fingerprint.
The single most important piece of evidence to me is we've got him on freaking video committing murder. Everything else is going to be tied to it. The gun, the clothing, fingerprint, everything else is coming. DNA,
Single most important piece.
video.
And quickly to Hermania Rodriguez, dailymail.com. What happens now? We're just waiting on the extradition hearing?
Correct. So he's supposed to appear in court again in Pennsylvania today, and now the process of extradition moves along. Charges have already been filed in New York, so we don't have to wait for him to be physically in New York for that. But now that process starts, and we are yet to hear what his defense is going to be. Is he going to oppose extradition, as you mentioned? And that's what's going to start now. The legal process and all this evidence is going to emerge.
Tonight, we honor two American heroes. Number one, the so-called elderly patron having his or her coffee at a McDonald's just like every single morning, who took it upon themselves, whether they knew it or not, to risk their lives to catch an alleged killer. We discussed earlier how very often arrests go sideways, much less the arrest of a violent criminal who's carrying a loaded ghost gun. And also, hero Tyler Fry, a beat cop, a patrol officer in Altoona PD. He knew he was going to apprehend the health boss assassin, as he has been called. Did he shrink back? No. He strode in and he made the arrest by the book. If it weren't for those two individuals, Brian Thompson's two boys may never have answers, but tonight they do. Thank you to that patron at McDonald's and to Patrol Officer Tyler Fry.